Martin Luther King Jr. had a secret weapon that made the civil rights movement possible. A black millionaire you've never heard of who quietly paid for everything. This is about A.G. Gaston and the hidden economics of black resistance in 1960s Birmingham, Alabama, when one man's wealth became the financial backbone of the entire movement. Arthur George Gaston was born in 1892 to formerly enslaved grandparents in a log cabin in Alabama. He started with nothing. By the 1960s, he was one of the richest black men in America. He owned Citizens Federal Savings Bank, Booker T. Washington Insurance Company, a construction company, a business college, a radio station, and the Gaston Motel in downtown Birmingham. His net worth exceeded tens of millions of dollars in an era when most black families earned less than $3,000 a year. White Birmingham despised him for being successful. They couldn't stand a black man owning more than they did. Black activists criticized him publicly for being too moderate, too conservative, too willing to negotiate with white power structures instead of confronting them directly. Young militants called him an Uncle Tom. But behind the scenes, away from cameras and journalists, Gaston was funding the revolution. When Martin Luther King Jr. and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference planned the Birmingham Campaign in 1963, they needed a safe headquarters away from white surveillance. Gaston provided his motel completely free of charge. When hundreds of protesters were arrested during the marches, filling Birmingham jails beyond capacity, Gaston posted bail money repeatedly, thousands and thousands of dollars. When activists needed legal defense against bogus charges, Gaston paid the lawyers. When organizers needed a secure place to hold strategy meetings away from police informants and FBI wiretaps, Gaston opened his private spaces. The famous photograph of MLK writing his letter from Birmingham jail? King made the decision to go to jail during a critical strategy meeting held in room 30 of the Gaston Motel. That room became the war room of the civil rights movement. After the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing that murdered 4 little black girls in September 1963, Gaston's Motel became the command center for the movement's response. Activists coordinated from there. Journalists filed stories from there. The KKK knew this. They bombed Gaston's motel twice, trying to destroy the movement's infrastructure and intimidate him into withdrawing support. Gaston rebuilt it both times and kept the doors open. He never backed down. He never stopped funding the fight. When the movement needed money, Gaston wrote checks. When they needed space, he provided buildings. When they needed bail, he posted bond. He did this knowing he was risking everything he built. His businesses could have been destroyed. He could have been killed, but he kept writing checks anyway. Arthur George Gaston died in 1996 at 103 years old, worth over $130 million. Without his money, Birmingham doesn't happen. Without Birmingham, the Civil Rights Act doesn't pass. Follow for more hidden history.